Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Brooklyn, Delhi, it is the ghost pepper hot sauce. Here we see the prominently boot hologia. Ghost peppers, savory Indian spices, and tang and tomato. Flavorful heat. I will give them that. So here we have, I guess this is a blowout of the boot region, maybe? Northeast India. And handcrafted Italian spice blend and the chilies. This is all the Brooklyn Deli stuff, samosas, eggs, curry, tacos, pizza, wings, cheese, Bloody Mary. This is out of Kingston, New York. I'm not entirely certain where that is. But we've got here tomatoes, water, ghost peppers, tomato paste, sunflower oil, sesame oil, garlic, vinegar, spices, including turmeric, salt, and tamarind. So the spices, I presume, are the sort of Indian spices they're talking about. So whatever that may be, maybe a little curry sort of thing, maybe a little... This really likes to clot up in the neck. One thing that I don't like about this sauce is that it does that. Maybe there's a little garam masala in there. I don't know. I'm not versed enough in Indian spices and cuisine to be able to tell you. And in fact, I made it a point to mention several times that Indian food is not my jam. It is not my jam. And I'll be completely frank. Completely Frank Drebin. I'll be completely frank with you. I would not have gotten this sauce at all. Despite it having one of my favorite, actually probably my favorite outright, super hot, the Mighty Ghosties, if it weren't on the Hot One show and with me doing the project of trying to whip through just as many of those sauces as I can. There is a full breakdown of what I've done, reviewed, and so on the blog, and you can get to the blog by following the link in the description below for the written review for this very sauce. But here we can see it's sort of a, yeah, like a reddish brown. Maybe a very, very dark tan, almost sand color. I think it looks really, really good. I think this sauce looks actually quite good. This sauce surprised me in a lot of ways, but the coloration, to me, it looks pretty nice. I will say this, I've said it as well in a number of other videos, that I find tomatoes, the use of tomatoes in hot sauces, to really be, most of the time, a pretty nice addition. And here they have it twice, both with tomatoes and tomato paste itself. So it is a very dense, very rich sauce as far as flavors go. In fact, let's just get into it right now. There's the oils, sort of staining the spoon there. And the reason that does that, I show you this, is because petroleum will interact with the white point. And oils are a sort of, they're not petroleum in the sense that you could burn it easily for fuel and like an engine, but all that stuff is kind of related. And I always find it kind of interesting when it stains the spoons. So this, to me, this is going to sound really funny coming after what I just said about not really digging on Indian food and flavors too much. So this next part is going to sound a little odd. But as part of my chili head journey, I was right by an Indian market. I spent an inordinate amount of time in there trying to find the hottest spice blend possible so that I could use it to make a rub, basically. That's when I was refining my rub recipe. But I would use it in other stuff as well. And chilies, things like that. And I don't know what was actually in that spice blend, but this flavor reminds me of the smell of that store. And it was a guy, just this dude from India that had a market and would put together his own spice blends and stuff. And, you know, maybe it was ground ghost. That might have been what I was getting. But I love that spice blend. It was so good. And it was mostly just peppers. It didn't have a lot of like curry-ish or ground masala or any of those aspects to it. Eventually I used that to make my own version of a tandoori chicken. So I have attempted to cook Indian food as well. And back when there was a wife around, she would make naan as well, which is another thing I like quite a bit, but that's really just bread. So I will say this, this kind of reminds me a little bit maybe of like I think tomatoes get used a lot in Indian food, like butter chicken and stuff. Unfortunately for me, onions also get used with them, which pretty much ends my interest in even trying to fuck with it, because I can't do that. Those will make me quite ill, and there's no food that I know of worth getting ill over. And you can get really dinged up, you know, behind that. That is just fabulous. Really, really super good. I will unquestionably be finishing out this bottle. I really like this sauce. I don't remember what position it was on the show, the hot ones. But this is yet another wonderful sauce that show has introduced me to. By me doing that project of coverage. This is definitely meant to be more flavor than heat, for sure. It's very deep and rich. This is just an excellent sauce. And I don't know what Brooklyn Delhi is. It's spelling Delhi like the city, Delhi. Or maybe it's New Delhi in India. Just absolutely phenomenal. These are, of course, just chicken tendies I'm having, but so I don't usually talk about this kind of thing much. That is just so good. Like I said, I don't usually talk about this much, but there's a kid, I think he was in Wyoming or something. He was a creator on YouTube also. I don't usually talk about other creators a whole lot, but I came across some of his videos and like he made some, I think, really questionable food decisions. And I mean, a lot of people would shit on him and stuff for it, but I was always kind of worried about his health. Like there's, you can really get yourself fucked up over that. That's what I was saying. There's nothing worth eating and getting sick over. There's just no food like that out there. You know, think it's like pufferfish or something like that. You can die too. You don't even eat pufferfish. So I'm not jumping into any speculation or anything. I'm just commenting on what I heard. Which was that this kid who went by the KingCobraJFS, I think, was his channel. And what I have heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, the kid is dead now, but what I heard before, shortly before he passed, was that he was doing some weird thing and somebody donated or something with the idea that he would eat some, like a Wendy's, some sort of Wendy's thing that had been sitting in the fucking sun for 3 days. I'm not saying that caused his death. I damn sure it's not going to help. Anyway, it's just a sad thing. That's a sad thing that, you know, dude was... He's probably young enough that I could theoretically be the age of you know, his parents. And that whole thing just sucks. If that comes out to be true, that he ate some really, really dodgy bullshit because of some stupid fucking internet thing, man, that is definitely an awful way to go. And you know, he probably deserved better than that. But you know, that's why I keep saying that you got to be careful. You got to be careful what you're eating. Like, you can't work yourself into dodgy shit. You just can't. You know, so no matter if I try to push the onion thing, it just winds up me being sick more often. It doesn't mean I'm more tolerant to it. It means that I'm just sick more. And like that creates a lot of havoc in my system. So, you know, you can't eat. What was the line in the movie? A man's got to know his limits. There you go. So, as far as this though, I would say, you know, if you're looking to dip your toes into Indian cuisine, into the Indian flavor world, this is the best starting point. Outside of like, there's this hole in the wall Indian place that I got this really good tandoori chicken from, which inspired me to make it myself. But you might not have one of those. Outside of something like that, get a bottle of this, because this is such a nice, subtle, and rewarding and wonderfully flavored introduction into a lot of those flavors. that maybe that's a stepping stone for your food adventure. It won't be for me. I've already went down that road and it leads to nowhere for me. But I always feel like the more you can expand your horizons, the better off you are. And this serves as an outstanding gateway to that. As far as having, be a ghost pepper sauce, ghost pepper is not the forefront here. That is much more just a part and parcel of the flavor. And the flavor is it honestly is outstanding. This may be my most favorite Indian food derived thing ever, and it is truly wonderful. Like, I really love what they did here, and I could see absolutely working on pizza. I don't know that I would put it on tacos. I mean, curry, I could see. Eggs, I could see. Samosas, I think that's in like the Indian sandwiches. That'd probably be fine. Wings, we will be trying that out in the Q4 2025 wing thing. I have no question to me that it's going to be very good. Bloody Mary would definitely work there. With cheese, pairing it with cheese. Probably won't do that, but I mean, I could see the potential. This is just, it's rich, it's creamy. I honestly am surprising myself a little bit by saying this, but I think this is actually one of the better sauces from the Hot Ones show. Amazingly. And once I discovered that it was, like, I thought it was maybe the case, but I wasn't 100% sure. I didn't put a lot of thought into it. Once I got it, I'm like, oh, this might be something I have to boot. No pun. But I might have to just toss to the wind or give away or something. But nope, definitely not. This is just a wonderful, wonderful surprise, I guess. I will leave it right there. So that was the Brooklyn Deli Ghost Pepper Hot Sauce. Number 4. In peace, to serve the flame.